Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we roll toward our 24th anniversary show coming up in August and not too long ago. And this is, of course, BW. It is Bonus Wong. It is fourth Saturday. Good morning, Ron Wong.
Hey, good morning, Larry.
Looking
good
cool.
morning, everybody. It's a beautiful
yeah.
Saturday morning here in Memphis, and it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one, and we've got a good one with us. He's on the road as always. I mean, I really feel happy.
He wants to be like me.
Oh, yeah.
On the road.
Yeah, well, he's been on the road at ICAST, and he's on the road right now, heading down to the Delta Waterfowl Expo in Baton Rouge, and then a little time in New Orleans, and then Gulfport. And, of course, that's our own Bill Cooksey from Vanishing Paradise. Good Saturday morning, Bill.
Hey, good morning, guys. Glad to be with you.
You just drive carefully as we talk because the busy guy that you are, we're gonna do a lot today. Ron has set up a couple of interviews, and we just got a full show. Let me go over it with you real quickly before we jump into this first segment. We're going to talk to Bill a little bit about ICAST because he was there down in Orlando, and a little bit about what Bill's going on because he's such a busy man. And then, of course, then we're going to roll out with some guys. The pro staff manager for B&M Pole Company, our good friend Kent Driscoll, who's going in the Legends of the Outdoor Hall of Fame on August the 17th up in Springfield, where me and Ron will be, and I'm hoping Bill will make it up there, but he's got such a busy schedule.
I'll be there.
I know Ron will be there taking pictures, and I'll be there applauding the 8 inductees, but and then Ron
I'm doing my best.
All right, and then of course Bill went in the same class as mine, and we'll talk about that too because that's a memory maker. And then thanks to Ron, he's got a next guest after that. Ron, you've got somebody.
Greg Meunier.
Yes.
Who is the owner and president of Vicious Fishing.
Yeah, and what a story they've got about
that you talk about. You know, we talk a lot.
Yeah.
On the show about different lure companies, fishing tackle companies, and they seem to be all like family.
Yeah.
And this company here, Vicious Fishing, is family. It's pretty amazing.
And I remember, and we'll talk to Greg about this, his first ICAST, they were a nobody. When they went down there and they were introducing to everybody. I just remember this from our previous conversations. So if anybody can give you a report from ICAST, it's Greg, because they started at the bottom and they're at the top now with Vicious Fishing. So we'll talk to Greg. And then this is what we've been promising you. I've worked on it. Ron has come through for us, and we're so happy with Charity Mullenweg for coming up. We got Skeet Reese on the show today out of California, and he's going to talk about that gold-plated reel he's got. Also, at the age of 55, winning a championship, which put him over the $4 million mark in bass fishing.
And he's also a pro staffer for our friends there at Cast King.
That's right. That's why he's got that gold-plated reel.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
We'll talk about that and then wrap it up. Every year, James Hall and the folks at BSS Magazine, they come out with their top 100 bass fishing destinations, and we're going to talk to James at the end of the show because they've done it again, and a familiar name is at the top. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but it's always a controversial pick. Anytime you pick an all-star team, I know in my days at the paper when I had to pick all Memphis teams.
Yeah.
I made on the football team I made 22 happy and I made 4,000 mad.
Well, that happens, you know, picking these 100 top bass lakes.
Yeah.
I know I'm one of the voters.
You're one of the voters.
Yes,
well,
and what I look at is I look at all the press releases. I follow all the different major bass trails throughout the U.S.
Yeah.
And I read local reports whether it's on the West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, or whatever. And it tells me, the catch rates.
Yeah.
I look at that. I look at the total weights that are weighed in at the weigh-ins on these tournaments.
Yeah.
Because that'll give you an idea how healthy a lake is.
So you're
and
not
that kind of
surprised
stuff.
by the winning lake.
No.
We're not going to announce right now.
No.
But it's a familiar one too, and it's not you can't drive there in an hour from here. So
it takes about 5.5.
Yeah, but we'll talk to James Hall. But right now it's just us, and I know Bill, busy guy. You're on the road. This Delta Waterfowl Expo. Is that similar to the one that they had in Little Rock? Is this a move to Baton Rouge, Bill, or is this a different one now? We had Bill.
Well, we had Bill.
You there,
but
Bill?
I'll tell you what, he's traveling
Wait,
this morning.
no, we got him. So tell us, Bill, is this Delta Waterfowl Expo like the one they had in Little Rock previously?
It's exactly the one they had in Little Rock. My understanding, their intent's always been to kind of move it around.
Okay.
To different key areas.
Well.
So Little Rock worked great. Hopefully they'll be back there because it went so well. But they're giving Baton Rouge a try. And if I remember right, Louisiana is the #1 membership state for Delta Waterfowl. So there should be a heck of a turnout.
That doesn't surprise me. And when does that start now? When does that roll out? This weekend?
The event started on Friday.
Okay.
And it goes all weekend.
All weekend in Baton Rouge.
Everyone still has plenty of time to get to Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's a full weekend as they did the previous time in Little Rock over in Little Rock at the Expo. But that's the Delta Waterfowl Expo. And then, but you've been on the road, man. You went to ICAST, and we're going to talk to you a lot about that. And
went to ICAST the week before that. I was in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And
yeah.
It just seems to keep on coming at me. My boss even said, we got to get a handle on your travel schedule.
And you're doing
we're getting there.
You're doing some podcasts, too? I mean.
Recently did the Standard Sportsman podcast, and that was all about hydrology and bottomland hardwoods in Arkansas, and a lot about
very interesting.
Well.
Yeah.
And it hadn't come out yet, but I actually did a podcast with NPR a few weeks ago.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Where we talked about the Vanishing Paradise program and the places we work and the sportsmen we work with.
Well, you've got so much to tell about, and I know the #1 question was. How much did they miss Ron Wong at ICAST?
No, they didn't.
I did have people ask me why Ron isn't along with me.
Yes, they think y'all kind of joined at the hip.
Well, we do some stuff together for sure.
That's for sure.
That's right.
And I've had so many people said it wasn't the same without Ron, but he was there in spirit. I know that
Absolutely.
for a fact because even our ICAST preview show. Was really a great show. I hope you folks, you can still go to LarryRay.com and look up under the shows, and you can go back and listen to that ICAST preview show we did 2 weeks ago with all the folks going to ICAST, and we even told you what ICAST meant and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to talk a lot about that. But today's show. Is it usually is when Ron's in the studio. What do we talk about, Ron, when you're here?
Well, what are the bass or what's the fishing light around the Memphis Mid-South area?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you,
they're waiting,
Ron. we've had some cool spells here, which has taken the water temperature down from the low 90s down to the mid 80s now.
Yes,
what's happened is it's actually moved the fish up some.
Oh, okay.
And so, like the crappie fishermen now are fishing anywhere from 8 to 12 feet deep on the I-55 lakes.
All right.
Use power trolling, which means your lead weight's going to be down about 14 feet because your baits come up.
Yeah.
And trolling anywhere from 1.5 to 1.7 miles an hour. And some of the best baits that are being used now are crankbaits like the Strike King 3XD.
Yeah.
In any shad colors or a pink color or a black or a crappie magnet fin spin.
All right.
A 1/8 ounce and a 1/4 ounce using a slab curly behind them. And the lighter colors like blue and whites are working a lot better right now. The waters are all clearing up. They're on the Tennessee River Lakes, Kentucky Lake, Pickwick Lake.
Yeah.
The crappie are really biting good. They've caught some really good crappie there on the north end of Kentucky Lake there, fishing anywhere from 12 to 14 feet deep, using jigs, and boy, they are catching, and they're fishing brush piles on the edge of ledges, anywhere from Moore's Bayou all the way down to Paris Landing.
And Ron, I've heard that there's some there's some limits now at the Mississippi crappie lakes. Changes.
There's a new, and it begins on July 28th.
That's it, yeah.
You will only be able to keep 10 crappie on the I-55 lakes.
Okay. Yeah.
And they must be 12 inches long to be able to keep them. And also, the daily possession limit now is going to be 7 days.
So what's your observation on that change, Ron?
It's a good change.
Okay.
Here's what's happening.
All right.
A lot of the crappie that are being caught now because of forward-facing sonar, they're targeting the bigger crappie, and which is okay. It's not going to hurt the population.
Okay.
However, over time, if you have the bigger limits, then it can hurt the catching or the keeping size fish.
Okay. All right. Well, I've heard there's been hadn't been too many negative comments on that.
The negative comments are it should be higher, and of course,
okay.
Yeah. It's good fish management. I think that Mississippi Game and Fish are doing a great job there.
Okay, that's what I wanted to throw in there. So, what about bass? Are we?
The bass, real quick.
Yeah.
Early in the morning, topwater baits, a striking sexy dog, a buzz bait, a whopper popper, a Zara spook on the main lake points.
Yes.
Once the fish go down with them with a 6XD Strike King, shad-colored crankbait, or a 7-inch cutter worm in either a green pumpkin or a June bug color.
Amazing. And we can catch some big ones. What else?
That's it.
That's it, buddy. I tell you what, that's when Ron rolls those out. Will you listen to that, Bill? I mean,
I was listening to every word of it. I just hope I get to go fishing again sometime.
Well, hopefully by the fall.
Yeah, no kidding.
By the fall, Bill.
Well, duck season's going to be here before you know it.
All right, let's round this baby up. We're going to come right back with Bill Cooksey on the road to Baton Rouge, and we're going to talk a little ICAST with Bill and Ron on Outdoors of Larry Ray. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to BW. Bonus Wong time here on Outdoors of Larry Ray. And good Saturday morning to all you folks in Brownsville, 1520 AM, 95.3 FM. Of course, Bill Cooksey stomping the grounds up there, old stomping grounds, Jackson, Tennessee, on News Talk 101.5. I bet you listened to that station a little while, hadn't you, Bill?
I've listened to that station a whole lot over the years.
Yes, you have. And, of course, right here in Memphis on AM 790 and 92.9 HD FM. And we're going to roll right now into this thing. Bill, of course, is the co-host, and Ron's the co-host, Ron Wong. But ICAST was, man, I've read so much stuff about all the different equipment and everything like that. Ron, you know how it is, rating all the top equipment. In fact, we've had some of those that won some of those awards have already been on the show.
That's right.
But from a perspective, and Ron's been down there so many, I was able to go to 2 of those things.
You know, I'll tell you something, and Larry and Bill, the thing I missed by not going to ICAST really and truly is the people.
Oh, yeah.
And the relationships and seeing new people and meeting new people. That's what it's all about. And Bill, I think you think the same. You're there to maintain relationships, establish new ones because of what you do.
Yeah.
But
100%.
to me, that's the people.
Yeah, talk about it, Bill. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I go. It's fun to look at new gear and old gear. I mean, all of it's kind of cool to look at, new colors. Larry needs to be naming some of them.
Yeah, that's right.
but really, look, I am inherently shy, yet I'm a people person. I love being with folks. I'm there to meet people, to thank people who have worked with me in the past, and ask them to keep going, to inform them about new things we have going on, like that Arkansas program and our West Tennessee program now. I mean, we're about to have a project going near Jackson, Tennessee in the South Fork Bottoms.
There you go.
So it was fun to talk to my Tennessee friends who were there, like a Crispin Pally and some of those folks, and tell them, hey, we're working up home now too. So that's a big part of it for me. Getting to sit down with Brian Brasher, and folks like that is always fun. And then I've made so many new friends in the fishing industry through the work I do now. Into the saltwater end of things and all, which has never really been part of my professional world. I mean, I've always enjoyed going and doing it, but I'm like everybody else. I go to Florida or Louisiana on vacation and go fishing. Now it's kind of part of my career. So I was only there a little under a day and a half because of flight issues on both ends.
That was horrible.
Yeah, Bill.
Oh and I'll talk about that in a second. But I walked in that little day and a half wearing flip flops. I walked 14.1 miles.
Oh my! You kept
wearing flip flops.
Okay.
Wearing flip flops.
No.
I have good flip flops.
You're a better man.
The flip flops from Alvin's Island.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was wondering about that. No, I mean, I've got a good pair from Frog Talks. I recommend things along that line. But did you hear, folks? So this thing is huge, and it is so. I guess in 20 years, the evolution of ICAST has
used to be AFMA.
Yeah. I was getting ready for that, and you stole my thunder, Ron, but you did. But the change, and everybody is putting on these big displays. It's an awesome. It's not a buyer's place, folks. It's a. I guess what it's a seller's getting people to take your products and sell them.
It's for all distributors, wholesalers, and retailers,
and media,
and media.
Yeah,
and more, and they talk about that. Al Norriker was on.
He was on our show 2 weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and also Jeff Smith. And one of the things they both talked about, and Jack Wells, was the presence of media there. Because without the media, people wouldn't know what's going on in the fishing world.
Right.
And it's instant.
And that's what gets all the pros there. I mean, that's the cool thing. If folks ever get a chance to attend, you see all the gear, but you also get to meet and talk to all the pros. I mean, I had some great conversations with bass pros I've never met before, yet we had these down-to-earth conversations.
And it's instant.
And the people from the various companies are very approachable. So
it's instant media now, though, too. I mean, in the old days, you could come back and write, and we can still do that. But at the same time, I can't tell you if Facebook was lit up, social media was lit up all during those times. I don't know how many times I saw a picture of Brasher with Dance with Mark Rose. Dance was dancing down there, man. He was.
Oh, he still draws the crowd.
He draws that crowd, buddy. And then did you see?
It's funny, Kevin Van Dam, you wouldn't recognize down there this year unless you knew Kevin.
He wore a golf shirt.
Man, seeing you without a jersey on, it's still hard.
It's still. Well, Dance takes that cap off, you wouldn't recognize him, but at the same time,
exactly.
And then
Dance is iconic.
Yeah, and we want to throw a salute out for Bill being named Tennessean Sportsman of the Year at the recent Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame in
Congratulations,
Nashville.
Bill.
He had his entourage over there. Of course he did, to win that award. And, of course, he had his cap on, and everything.
Sure.
But to see him at ICAST and to see the popularity of what that man has meant to the sport of fishing and the state of Tennessee, it just
Well
remarkable.
deserved, my friend.
Yeah. And then I know, Bill, explain your capacity. Now, I know we maybe we kind of shortchange you a lot of time, Bill, but you do a great job with Vanishing Paradise, which is part of the National Wildlife Federation.
National Wildlife Federation.
Yeah.
The easy one to explain, I'm what's called Director of Conservation Partnerships for Tennessee, and I work with the Tennessee Wildlife Federation.
There you go. Yeah.
On behalf of NWF, and they're an affiliate of the Wildlife Federation.
Well,
but the more difficult to explain is the Senior Sportsman Outreach Coordinator for Vanishing Paradise, where I work on Everglades, Mississippi River Delta in Louisiana, the whole Gulf, and now the whole Mississippi River. And a lot of that, it varies what I do, but long and short of it is getting sportsmen's voices heard locally or nationally. That's why I was in D.C. a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Walking around on Capitol Hill, talking to congressmen, to get good, solid conservation and restoration projects underway that'll benefit our critters, our fish, the things we as sportsmen care about.
Well, I'm just glad that you're not still in Orlando waiting on your flight.
Amen. The great thing about it being in Orlando, I was able to keep it together better than I ever have in my life, because you look around that airport and there were so many families with little kids, and the kids are going crazy, the mothers are crying, and I could tell fathers just want to hit someone so bad.
Yeah. Well,
but everyone was great, but it was still, you see those families, and it's been recent enough that I had, young kids that I can just imagine the horror of dealing with that.
Well, I kept
for me,
watching for you.
I just got a hotel and waited till the next day.
I just kept waiting to see Bill Cooksey on national TV, in one of those lines. And I know they were picking out the people that were having the worst trouble, but
I did not have the worst trouble. I was ahead of a whole lot of folks.
Is Brasher still there? Did he get out? I guess he got out.
No, he went out Thursday night.
Oh, he went out Thursday night. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of folks will get there early, and people with booths get there early, and they do it in shifts, so they're not there the entire week.
Gotcha. Well, I think it looks like another record breaker down there, and
I'm sure.
As far as crowd-wise and all the stuff that came out of it, wow, some neat stuff, and we've talked about them, and we'll talk some more down the road, because I know Ron wants to talk about some of those products that we still haven't got on, but we will get on, because
we'll have a post-ICAST show.
Yeah, with a lot of different things that have come out, folks. But you can, they could go to get information about Vanishing Paradise. Where, Bill? Where they go to get that?
The best place is to follow our social media, Facebook, Instagram. We even have a Twitter, and it's Vanishing Paradise, but also vanishingparadise.org on the net.
Okay, you can do all that, and of course, Bill is on the road, and I thought about you, Bill. I went through Brownsville here a week or so ago, and I needed a place to eat, so I text, because all of us have spent a little time in Brownsville at the Mid-South Hunting and Fishing magazine time.
Yeah.
But
yes, sir.
I got Taylor Wilson, and Taylor said go to the Livingston soda fountain place to eat. I don't know if you've been there.
I have not
I
been
have
there.
not.
Oh, it's out of sight, buddy.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Hamburger?
Well, it's a little bit of everything, but it got a lot of sweet stuff too. But at the same time, it's got a lot of breakfast is great. So I'm throwing in a pitch for those people. I was driving around showing my wife the minefield, which she still doesn't understand. And anybody that goes to Brownsville doesn't understand. But it brought back a lot of memories, because Bill and I can share some of those Brownsville memories. And I still miss that magazine. I'm sorry, but I miss Joe Seals.
Yes.
And the effort that was put out for all those more than 30 years by Carlton and all the guys. But I did see Carlton in a couple of dance pictures, so I knew Carlton was down there.
Yeah, well, he follows.
I ran into Carlton and got to talk to him a little bit.
There you go. Well, good Saturday morning, Carlton Veers. Appreciate you, buddy, for doing that. All right, let's take Let's take a break. Bill Cooksey on the road, Ron Wong in the house. Shelby McCall taking care of us. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. We've already breezed through the first two segments. Shame if you missed it, but we're going to have a great show as we always do. This is fourth Saturday, which means Ron Wong is in what we call Bonus Wong. Again, good morning, Ron Wong.
Hey, good morning, Larry. And also, if you missed the first part of the show, you can go out to Larry Ray, REA, that is.
That's right.
.com and listen to it online.
We'll have it there. And all the previous shows, not from all 24 years just about, but you go in the archives and you might understand, wow, that thing's been on 24 years?
Yep.
That's right. And we have not missed a week. Even when I had my cancer, I had people fill in, and Bill Cooksey knows this as well as any of us that I'm organized. And I try to stay on top.
You cross every T and dot every I.
I do that. And this next guest, Kent Driscoll, as we said, is a longtime friend of Outdoors of Larry Ray. Of course, you folks know him from B&M Pole Company as a pro staff manager, but he does so much more for War Eagle Boats, Driftmaster, Crappie Magnet, and all those different kind of things. Out of Nolensville, Tennessee, longtime friend.
And a lot of people don't know he's written a lot of crappie articles and done a load of videos, how-to.
He's been crappie fishing since before.
Just a quick story.
Yeah.
He was the one that really put pulling crankbaits on the map 25, 30 years ago.
Yep. That's right. You're not saying anything, Kent, so I guess you're agreeing. I mean,
good morning, Kent Driscoll.
Made a lot of money with that deal, too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, good morning, guys. Glad to be on the show with you guys. I always look forward to our conversations.
It's entertaining. Entertaining, Kent.
You know?
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to share the mic with you guys.
Well, we appreciate it, and we're going to share that Kent's going to share that spotlight come August the 17th when he is one of 8 people going into the Legends of the Outdoor Hall of Fame. I look forward for me and my wife Miriam to be up there. Ron Wong will be up there. We're trying to get Cooksey up there.
Missouri.
In Springfield, Missouri at the Johnny and Jenny Morris Convention Center there. And Kent, well deserved, buddy. I know you've paid the price. You've come a long way from Naples, Italy. I mean,
that's right.
Tell them you were born in Italy, right?
I was born in Naples, Italy. My dad was in the service.
Yay!
And,
I got it right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
My dad's he's passed on now, but he was a retired Navy veteran, captain, shall I say.
So born.
So he was very well decorated.
So how long did you live in Naples?
Well, I lived there 1 year. And
that was long enough.
You don't remember much.
And the really funny story about that is when people ask, my parents or my 2 older brothers specifically, what's wrong with Kent Driscoll? They will tell you when he was a baby, he cried a lot, and he didn't have a crib. He had a drawer in a dresser, and when he would cry,
come on,
we'd close the dresser drawer.
I'm sure
I guess that was my older brother's way of shutting me up when I was a baby.
Well, is that going to be in your acceptance speech at Springfield?
Probably not.
Okay.
And then if you ask my mom and my dad, or my mom and dad the same question, like, well, we might have dropped him on his head when he was little. That's why he talks so much.
Well, I know you love a crappie fishing, buddy, and it's been part of your life for a long time. You've caught a few 3-pounders, I think. I don't know.
I have, Larry. I sure have.
I've caught a bunch of them in my time. So,
well, what does this mean for you? Before we talk about products, and Ron can ask you some technical questions. What does this award mean for you, Kit? Because I know this organization is close to your heart.
Yeah, I tell you, Larry, I've been a part of the Legends of the Outdoors, and it is a big part of me. I've been on the board of directors about 10 years.
Yep.
And I'm really happy that we've got an organization that recognizes the men and women of the outdoor industry.
Yeah.
Whether it's hunting, fishing, the shooting sports, whatever it is,
Yeah.
We now have a place for people that have basically dedicated a large part of their lives to supporting the outdoor industry.
Yeah.
And, as we all know, it's our true passion in life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we all love, but being a part of the outdoors is something that is such a big part of my life. I grew up doing it. My grandmother introduced me to fishing. My dad took me hunting and fishing. My brothers took me hunting and fishing. And I made so many great memories along the way. And now to be, involved in the industry through B&M as the pro staff manager for, right at 20 years now, and to get recognized amongst my peers as one of the leaders in the industry, it's a very humbling award, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to tell you guys, it's more of a team award to me than it is an individual award.
It is.
And the reason I say that is I've just got a great group of crappie fishermen and cat fishermen that report to me. I've got about 100 guys on our pro staff.
Wow.
Okay, when you combine the two together.
Uh-huh.
And the old saying is, surround yourself with good people and watch good things happen. That just rings true. I've got a lot of people that have the same passion, the same energy for crappie fishing that I do, and the love for crappie fishing. And we all just do it together, and we promote our sponsors, but we also promote the sport as a whole.
You do.
And that's the key.
And then also being connected with leaders in the industry, like the Jack Wells of the world.
Yeah.
And the Jeff Smiths.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You look at guys like that. B&M's been in business for over 75 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been passed down through a couple of generations.
Yeah.
Jack's been in a leadership role for over 20 years, okay?
Yeah.
And if you talk to Jack, I think one of his proudest moments and one of the proudest accomplishments that he's experienced with B&M is his pro staff.
Yeah.
And how they have helped him develop product, how they have helped him advertise, how they have been the grassroots marketing arm of his company and just been true representatives of his company. And you'll find the same thing with Jeff Smith. Jeff Smith, that company, Leland Lures, which is known as Crappie Magnet and Trout Magnet, that has been passed down through generations as well.
It has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's a number of companies in the crappie industry, and crappie's a lot smaller than, say, the bass fishing industry, but there's a lot of companies that are like that in the crappie industry. Charlie Brewer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brewer Slider Grubs.
Yeah.
What a great company that is. Again, passed down from generation to generation. And I will tell you, the success of these companies comes down to one thing and one thing only, and it's the fact that they treat every customer like their family.
They did
Yeah.
They
that.
want
Yeah.
people to feel important, whether it's a customer that calls in ordering a fishing pole, whether it's a vendor, whether it's a pro staff member.
Yeah.
They want those people to feel like they're a part of the B&M and the crappie fishing family. And it's just a really tight group of folks that we work together with. And it's just a lot of fun. And we've all made so many great memories and so many great contacts over the year.
Yeah, memory
It's
makers.
just been-
And again, we're talking to Kent Driscoll. Of course, he is the pro staff manager for our good friends at B&M Pole Company and a longtime friend of Outdoors Larry Ray. And they even let people who can yap some in there, who are not experts at anything, but just like to spread the good news. And
Absolutely.
I know that for me, when me and Bill was up on the stage, and I'm in the middle of my cancer, and that I didn't have my hair and all that kind of stuff, and to know what it means.
Me either, Larry. Me either.
Well, you didn't have your hair either. That's right. And of course, I was the only one that was picked on by Mr. Blakely talking about my wife being a better fisherman, and then I'll be if somebody else didn't get up and say the same thing. So, but anyway, we're looking forward. But I know Kemp back from into ICAST, new products and things along that line. Ron likes to talk about that, and I will say you got 100 on those pro staff. I guarantee you, there's 200 more would like to be there. Okay.
About 2,000 more.
Yeah. So what you have, what you have put together is pretty awesome. But talk about what's for 2024. What were some of the things that you guys threw out at ICAST?
Yeah, so couple new items that are coming out is the John Godwin from
Dynasty. We got to get him on, Ron. We got to get John.
Yeah, y'all got to get him on the show. He's a character now.
Yeah, I know that. He's been on. Yeah.
Godwin is a really, really good crappie fisher.
Yes, he is.
He's a great duck hunter, but he's just as good at crappie fishing.
Yeah.
And he's got the same passion for crappie that he does. Duck hunting.
Yeah.
And we've got a casting pole that we're going to put his name. And the funny part is we've actually got his picture on this pole.
Come on.
If you look
really?
at it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And you're gonna see that old gray beard on kind of like one of the guys from ZZ Top, but you're gonna see his face on the pole.
All right.
But he's come up with a 7.5 foot medium action casting rod.
Yeah.
It's got oversized guides on it. It's got a cork handle on it. It's all one piece.
Oh, wow.
It's designed for light line, like 4 to 8 pound test.
Wow.
And it's made specifically to cast a crappie.
So every
time I say casted,
every time you cast it, you're going to see his picture. Okay, that's good.
That's right.
That's
right.
Inspiration or perspiration? I don't know. So
right. But it's made to cast jigs or slip floats.
Okay.
It's a very, very, very versatile rod. So we're really excited about that, and there's quite a bit of social media coming out. That product's going to be available this fall. Okay,
this fall. All right,
so
we're running out of time.
Very exciting.
Running out of time here.
One more.
What's the name of that one? What are we calling that? The John Godwin casting rod? Is that the name, or have you come up with something?
Godwin's casting pole.
All right, guys, we got that on there, and we'll be getting John on the phone here with us someday and talk about it. Kent, thank you, buddy. We look forward to seeing you in Springfield, Missouri.
Congratulations, my friend.
Congratulations again. Can't wait to be there. Have a great weekend, all right?
Y'all do the same. Enjoy your show, guys.
All right, thanks, Kent. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. We talk outdoors every Saturday morning right here in Memphis from 9 to 10:30 on AM 790, 92.9 HDFN. Of course, all you good folks in Brownsville from 6 to 7:30 on 1520 AM, 95.3 FM. And in News Talk 101.5 Jackson from 6:30 to 8, and we're rolling along what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio.
Can you believe
program. We're halfway through?
We're more than halfway through now.
Yeah, we're rolling, and that's what we like to do here. Bill Cooksey and Ron Wong, co-host. Bill's on the road heading toward Baton Rouge for the Delta Waterfowl Expo, and then from there to New Orleans and on to Gulfport. He can vote in 7 places. I really think that Bill Cooksey has been around.
And I'm planning to.
And he's planning to, yeah. But we got a special guest coming in. We've had him on the show before. He's got a great story about his wonderful business, and I think he's probably got one of the greatest names for a company that there is, and maybe the best logo there is when it comes to notoriety, and their story's amazing. But, Ron, tell us who this next guest is.
Well, and also the finest fishing line anywhere in the world.
You just gave away the secret. There's no secret anymore.
Our next guest is the president, owner, janitor, a friend of Outdoors with Larry Ray, Greg Meunier. Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm good. Just kind of recovering from ICAST.
Yes, covering my cast and drinking some coffee, getting it ready. That's the way.
Right.
That's the way to do it. Well, you said the magic word. I know that my brother from another mother over there couldn't go this year, but we had Ron couldn't make it, but Bill Cooksey was down there, and he says he walked 14.1 miles in flip flops down there, Greg. So we just wanted to make sure. We're going to have to get that verified by somebody, I guess. But
I would guess he's not lying by too much.
Well, tell us about it, because you guys, as I've read about what you call the American Dream with Vicious, and what you guys have done. But I looked up in July of 2006, the team headed to ICAST in Las Vegas, full of excitement, and really didn't know anybody. And now,
well, that's true.
And look now, in this short period of time, what it's come to. So talk about the experience now at ICAST for you guys at Vicious.
Oh, it's a whole different game for us than it was, even just 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was a part of the team at that point and not the owner, but, we would go to ICAST. We were still trying to sell ourselves. We were still trying to get people to trust that we were going to be around. I won't say it was a battle. It was a fun battle, but, it was always work.
Yes.
And, I would say over the last 3 or 4 years, I feel like when we go to the show, people know who we are.
Oh, yeah.
We see a lot of friends. We know names. They know who we are. They know what we do. They stop to see us. Friends in the industry that you get an opportunity to talk to. So it's just a whole different experience than what it was 10 years ago and the way we're operating at this point.
And, right now, it's spending a lot of time with the people that you see that come into your booth to maintain and grow relationships, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, because you've got buyers there from big chains, and you have mom and pop bake shops and everything else. And it's a matter of sitting down and talking with them and not only about the product, but about the company, isn't it?
Absolutely. The guys, there's a little difference. I don't know that from us the story changes much in what we're doing and how we're doing it. Obviously, there's a big difference between when you're talking to a chain account and an independent account and what they're looking for and needing from you. But, really, we don't change our story much. We're a family-owned business.
Yes.
We're going to treat our customers very personally, whether they're a chain or an independent.
Mm-hmm.
Our pricing doesn't change. We try to keep a good price at retail. We're taking care of our partners. We want them to make some money. We got to make some money. And at the end of the day, we got to make sure that the anglers out there using our stuff can afford to use it, enjoy using it, have a quality product, and have a good experience. So, the story's a little different in how you have to angle it and what they're looking for. But at the end of the day, we are who we are.
Well, talk about ICAST and what you were showcasing down there, Greg. I'd be interested.
Talk about your product.
Yeah.
So, this year what we did was we added a few products to existing lines.
Uh-huh.
So under our catfish line, we've had a lot of requests for a 40-pound test. So we're adding 40-pound test to our catfish product.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're adding an 8-pound test to our Tora.
Okay.
Our premium fluorocarbon. The finesse world has gotten more exciting. So we came to an 8-pound. It's got about a 6-pound diameter. So lines are getting smaller. It's kind of the trend right now in fishing is smaller lines and smaller tackle. And, of course, the forward-facing sonar discussion. And then the big product that we brought out was our sinking braid. It's a 8+1. It's an 8-strand product. It's got a single strand of gore, so it's really 9 strands, and high-vis yellow. It's meant to, take the bow out of the line, the drift out of the line when you cast it. It's going to act a lot like braid when it comes to abrasion resistance. It's a little denser, which is what makes it sink quicker. Has a little more sensitivity to it. So we're going to have that in 8, 10, and 15-pound test, 150 yards to start.
Yeah.
And again, you can see the theme. It's all finesse. Everybody's looking to downsize their products and fish. So.
But, even that line there, that new braid, that new line is going to be great for the pan fishermen, too, because that's what they're looking for.
Exactly.
The bass fishermen want it. so they can cast farther.
Don't forget the pan guys.
And but that's great pan fishing line also. These products here that are coming out, Greg, when can the public expect them to be on the shelves?
I think we'll have our the addition to the catfish and the Tora before the end of the year.
Really?
My hope is to get it in here in November, December.
Okay.
The sinking braid, that being a brand new product, we'll probably be looking at February 1st. Our hope is to get it here just in time for spring and put it in everybody's hands and get them rolling. So that's the plan at this point.
What you and Bill could kind of jump in this, because me and Ron are the quote old pros here, and Bill's a whippersnapper, as we think. That's why we bring Bill in for that. The evolution of the fishing line, Greg. I mean, from what me and Ron grew up, I think I used to buy
nylon.
I used to buy line from Ron. I mean, and, they weren't nylon stockings either. I can tell you that. Nylon
material.
Talk about that, Greg, from your perspective, because this has become. And Bill, jump in, because we talk about all electronics and things along that line that have changed, but in my many years, the fishing line is so much different than what my granddad or my uncle taught me how to fish. So talk about that.
Yeah, so the technology obviously is getting better. The ability to make smaller, thinner, easier to cast products. Over my time coming in, when I was first starting, fluorocarbon and braid were becoming a little trendier.
Yes, that's right.
Monofilament was probably where people were.
Yeah.
And just the quality of the product and the ability to use it by everyone has really changed the dynamics of what's being used out there. And, at least in my perspective, and I don't have any hard data, but I think they're all three pretty equal in the level of distribution between them.
Yeah.
The product really comes down to there's some price considerations in there, probably the fishing pressure you're dealing with, and whether you need the fluorocarbon to be more invisible or more sensitivity. And again, it just depends on where you're fishing.
Where and what you're fishing for. I mean,
absolutely.
And we won't deal with age here, but you got to put a 6-year-old out there, just give them some line or whatever it might be. But again, we're talking to Greg Meunier of the Vicious Company, and which I think is one of the great names there is, Vicious Fishing, out of New Bern, Indiana. You guys are still in Indiana, right? You hadn't.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're still here.
Hadn't moved to Europe yet or anything like that, but
no.
But I know the dream there is everything. So, and I know it's a family organization. You and your wife Corey, is that right?
Correct.
Are still involved in this, and that's, I think, Cooksey, you realize this more, that when you go to ICAST or anything like that, I always looked. Families are important in the fishing industry.
The outdoor industry in general is often family driven. I mean, that's how we started fishing and hunting, and that's we try to get our own. But I got to back up a little bit though, because I want to hear my biggest thing in learning about these different lines years ago. I resisted. I was a mono guy, and that's probably 50% of what's in my boat is mono.
Yeah.
But slowly learn the advantages of the different lines. And I was wondering if we could just real quick get a breakdown of some of the main reasons, say just in bass fishing, to use braid, mono, and fluoro for different applications. Just a real quick rule of thumb for people.
Yeah.
I can hit on that quickly.
You got 2 minutes, Greg. Go. So.
Okay. So the monofilament, that's going to be a little less sensitive. It's going to float instead of sink.
Yeah.
And the big advantage there is price, without a doubt.
All right.
Move over to fluorocarbon, you're going to get a little advantage in the clearness under the water, definite advantage in the sensitivity, strong hook sets, abrasion resistance. So that's where the fluorocarbon comes into play. And then braid, braid and mono kind of play together. The braid floats until you get to our sinking braid, but the braid typically under a standard floats. And so it's kind of like mono in that case, but it has more sensitivity, obviously zero stretch, hook sets are there. abrasion resistance, it lasts forever. So, those are kind of some quick hits on what the differences are between the three main types.
Hey, man, that is, I'm impressed that you could do that in less than 2 minutes, Greg. That's pretty. I'm gonna save that one and put that on my website.
Yeah, that's good.
The question was longer than the answer, but you did a great job. Thank you.
And I'm going to encourage all of our listeners to go out to social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, and follow Vicious Fishing.
That's right. Go to VICIOUS.
Yes.
.com. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. Check out our website. Follow me. I'm out there. I've got a Vicious specific, just what we're doing as families and owners out there.
Yeah.
At Greg with Vicious on Instagram. Would love to have you kind of watch and see what we do whenever we're out here trying to do our thing.
And if somebody wants more information about the wonderful products of Vicious Fishing, where do they go, Greg?
GetVicious.com is the best spot to find it all.
GetVicious.com. And we got all this on LarryRay.com too, if we can. But Greg, thank you, buddy. Great weekend, and we'll talk to you again down the line. Okay, man?
Sounds great, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll continue this thing. Somebody special is coming up next, too. Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, right here in Memphis, Tennessee, AM 790, 92.9 HD, every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30 as we roll toward that 24th anniversary this show's been on the air. That's a lot of weeks, a lot of shows, what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. And I wish we had more time for this next guy because I don't want to waste any time babbling, because when we have a chance to get Skeet Reese on the show, you folks out there have already pumped up because I publicize it and everything. And we've got him on, 12-time winner now, won a championship on his 56th birthday. Got a little nice rod and reel here, a nice little reel to go along with. Yeah, a nice little reel to go along.
But he's so visible.
He's such a low color
bright
guy.
Yellow catches my eye.
And then going
into
the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Where can we start? But first of all, good morning, Skeet Reese.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
We're wound up, Skeet. Between just reading of the things that have happened to you, 2024. Wow.
Congratulations on the win. That's huge win.
Let's talk about that, Skeet. On your birthday, 55th birthday, the General Tire Stage 6 presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Of course, we know that you got $100,000. That's nice. That pushed you over another mark in your career. But talk about that tournament before we get into some other things, about winning that. What did it mean to you, buddy?
Oh, that literally was a checklist that I've been craving and fishing my butt off for.
Yes.
For my career. I mean, I've been fortunate. I've won a lot of tournaments at all levels of my career and a lot of big titles. But since we've created the Bass Pro Tour with Major League Fishing and fishing against that caliber of guys, that many of them, I was like, I want to be able to win one of these. Just to say I beat the greatest group of anglers ever. And to be able to do that was huge. It's so gratifying. I look back and I'm hearing all this stuff and I see pictures and videos and I'm reliving it all the time. And it feels great. I mean, to be able to accomplish something like that, at my age, 55, which I don't feel old, but from a tournament fisherman, I am pretty old.
That's a lot of cranking and a lot of flipping and a lot of things for that many years. You've been very health-wise, too.
Because, one of the things people don't know about Skeet, he's usually the first or one of the first anglers on tournament day to be putting in, so he gets a good parking space. But you're always there early. And
I am an early guy.
Yeah.
I think I just long time ago I didn't like dealing with crowds and parking issues at the boat ramp, and I get there and I can prep and just not be stressed out and relax and have conversation, music, whatever it might be. And so to this day, I'm still one of the first guys at the boat ramp. And
I think a lot of people need to take example.
And you've got to be healthy to do that, like Larry was talking about.
Yeah,
and you take good care of yourself.
You've been pretty blessed, man. I mean,
I've made a point to take care of my body as good as I can, really, over the last 30 years of doing this. And so I exercise quite a bit, and I try to eat healthy as I can when I can, and so I'm pretty conscious about especially the exercise standpoint and taking care of my body. So that's allowed me to be able to compete and be competitive still this many years into it.
And there's so many young whippersnappers out there. I'm 81, man. I look up to you, man. I'm telling you. I mean, I don't want to age or anything, Skeet, but to be able to compete at this level and do that win for you, 54 pounds, 3 ounces, 23 scoreable bass on that final day.
Wow.
And it took about every one of them to do it, right? I mean,
yeah, I did. I thought I had it wrapped up until that last 20 minutes. And I got on a run. I had the little pucker factor come in there a little bit.
Well,
but it worked out perfect.
It did. And so let's talk after that. What a boost for that. And then your relationship to Cass King. And
great company.
Yeah, talk about that, because we've had Al on several times. Al, I have a young man that had no rod, no reel. What do you think Al sent him? I mean, Al sent this young high school kid wanting to be a bass fisherman one of his reels. I mean, that's just the way Al operates. But talk about that reel when you were presented that gold-plated version.
Oh, wow. So the relationship I have with Al Noriker has been long. I mean, we worked together at Wright McGill for years, and so we had a great working relationship. And then when he went to Cass King, and he approached me about doing a program, and I was excited just to be able to work with him, and just because Cass King is this relatively new company in the fishing industry, but seeing what they're doing, the technology they're pushing forward, and their desire to grow and do new and exciting fun stuff was it's exciting to be part of. And then to be able to create the Icon series of reels, spinning reel, casting reel that I have.
Talk about that.
It's, I mean, they're both amazing reels. I mean, it's a $99 reel that I would put against any $200 or $300 reel out there as far as the smoothness, the quality.
Yeah.
So it's a great performing reel for $99. And then so that's why I do reels with Cass King, and then I have my line of rods.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And talk about that line of rods you got there.
Yeah, that's it's been in the works for several years now. I've been designing rods for other companies for 25 years.
Yes, right.
So to be able to finally say, hey, let's just do this on our own. And I've got some new stuff that'll be coming out. My next series of rods is literally my pride and joy. I mean, I've engineered and designed my own handles, my own reel seats.
Wow.
It's going to be, I'm excited for the next 2 series to come out. And pair it with Cass King. It's going to be the ultimate rod and reel combination. And but to be presented that gold-plated reel from Al in front of my peers at the Lake Eufaula tournament in Oklahoma, that was crazy. To actually feel a 24-karat plated gold, I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's
gorgeous.
Yeah.
We've seen pictures, and we know it's got pictures. We know it's got to be yellow. What's this thing with yellow with you? I mean,
well, it started out. I wish I could say it was a master plan, but it just evolved. It's just one of those things. I saw Champion Boats back then had I went to a Champion Boat dealer meeting, and they had a boat on display that has black and white with a yellow stripe down. I'm like, that boat's cool looking. So I ordered my next boat that way, and then the next boat had a little more yellow.
So yellow comes yellow, but you've never had gold plated before.
No.
I mean, this Where is that reel? Where's that reel sitting now? What do you do with it? A reel like that?
It's in my office here, and I'm actually it's in the metal case that they came with. It looks like Deal or No Deal case. And, but I got Yeah, I'm waiting for a little glass box for it.
Oh, you got to have that.
Yeah.
Like
so cool.
So it's funny. I've got so many mixed messages from my peers when they presented at Lake Eufaula. Like half of them are like, "Man, you got to spool that up and fish it one time." The guys are like, "No, you cannot do that. No, don't ever fish that thing."
Well, I know they're going to donate. He's donated a couple for the auction at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Al has.
Yeah.
And so they'll be able to be sold.
Now, on your rods and reels that you've helped design, when will they be available?
Well, right now the rods are available, and I sell also Cast King reels at reesefishing.com.
There you go.
So you just go to reesefishing.com. You can see my existing line of rods and
Oh,
my
great.
Cast King reels on there as well.
We'll talk about the Hall of Fame, Skeet. I mean,
we're actually working on right now finalizing what items I'm going to have on display for my display in the Hall of Fame, and working on the speech and all that. But to be inducted, at first I don't think I understood what it meant at first.
But then,
but I think now that I've had some time to like process and realize like how big of a deal this is, and to be recognized for what I've done in the sport, in the industry for the last 30 years, it means a lot to me. So
it is certainly a group of who's who in the fishing industry.
Yeah, September 26th at the Johnny Morris Wonders of the Wildlife National Museum and Aquarium in Springfield, folks. That's when Skeet will go in and Skeet, well, that moment you're working on your speech, you look back on your career, man, you've been a great ambassador for the sport. What do you want folks to remember most about Skeet Reese?
Wow. Just that I'm a normal, everyday person that just loves to fish and I want to treat people the way I want to be treated, and so that's just I'm just a normal guy that just loves fishing and that has a good attitude, and I don't know.
That's a question I wanted to ask you, because you are one of the original 15 to launch Major League Fishing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a pretty heady thing right there too. And
I guess the list keeps going on and on and on, and I don't realize it. Like how many different projects and events or organizations and companies that I've been part of in my career, and I've just been very fortunate to be able to do what I've done, and I'm not done yet. I mean,
you're not done, buddy. Don't get.
I'm not done.
No.
Well, I know I'm going to see you there at the Red Crest Cup next year.
Yep, you're going to be at Red Crest. And I've turned the season around and put myself in position at the Red Crest, which is great. And that's
keep my career alive for another year with Red Crest qualification, tour qualification. And so
that's cool.
Well, I know
24 years. 2024 has been good.
Well, it's going to continue to be good, buddy. We appreciate you taking time to be on Outdoors with Larry Ray. You got a lot of fans, of course, in the Memphis area. 3 of them are sitting right here, Ron Wong, me, and Bill Cooksey.
Yes, sir.
Kept up with your career. Let me know when they name a street after you in Auburn, okay? Because you're in the wrong Auburn in the South here. We don't.
Yeah, that's true. When I do say Auburn, everybody thinks Alabama.
Yeah, they do. I've tried to tell everybody, no, this is a Skeet from California.
Yeah, well, Skeet, real quick, I was born in Sacramento.
Yeah, Ron.
Were you?
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, you're just down the street.
Yeah, right. 45 minutes down the road.
Well, I was born in Arkansas, like Lou Brock, and it's the land of opportunity. And Lou Brock took the first opportunity and left. So did I. Okay, so that's it. Skeet Reese, thank you, buddy. Have a great weekend, and we'll stay in touch. And we really appreciate Charity helping set this up with us.
And we're going to be talking to you down the road also.
We got your number, buddy. All right, baby.
All right, appreciate
Thank y'all.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, Good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. My voice is hanging on after a stint with the dental office this way. I got a great dentist, Dr. Brooklyn Bird. I hope if you're looking for a dentist, check out Dr. Bird out in Bartlett. She takes care of me, straps me down, puts the restraints on me. It gives me all the Novocaine I can handle, then says, go to sleep, Larry. But a great dentist. And anyway, this wraps up today's show. I appreciate Ron Wong. Bill Cooksey's on the line, and Bill's on the way to one of my favorite places where my favorite uncle lives. Bill, he's a criminal lawyer if you need one. He lives in Baton Rouge.
I may just call you.
Okay,
Larry.
his name is Charles Ray. So if you need any problems, call him. He knows the mayor.
Okay.
And then, of course, Ron Wong, and Ron has helped set up these guests. And what better way to close it out than our annual? It seems like it is. We've been talking to James Hall every year. I don't know how many years that BASS has done the 100 top lakes, waterways, whatever you want to call them, 100 top bass fishing destinations. That's what it is. And maybe James can fill us in on that. Good morning, James Hall.
Hey, good morning, Larry. How in the world are you?
We're doing great. And it's out again. It came out in the July issue, August issue, Bassmaster Magazine, the 2024 Bassmaster Magazine 100 Best Bass Lake Standings, and all these other different kind of things. And Ron's not surprised at what won.
No.
I'm not surprised when I read about all the totals, and I'm sure Bill Cooksey will agree with this. If you want to catch a bunch of smallmouth, say about 100 pounds, the top four competitors in the Bassmaster Elite Series tournament held there in late August. I think it's a pretty safe bet, James, to say what is number one. What is it, James?
It is the St. Lawrence River, otherwise known as Thousand Islands.
That's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you put that "the" on there like the Ohio State. I mean, the Lawrence River. This is one in 2022. We're back in 2024. It slipped a little bit last year, but talk about this year's charts, James. And once again, as I said, that place is so famous for
it's
what.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
It really is. It's kind of otherworldly, especially for a redneck from Alabama. You know, because
or Arkansas, or Tennessee,
that's right.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it just to be able to catch, 100 pounds of largemouth in a 4-day tournament was about unheard of. And now the St. Lawrence River is pushing out 100-pound limits, 4-day limits of smallmouth, which is just astronomical. It's and not only that, I mean, if the average, these are the Elite Series guys catching those weights, but I mean, you had to catch, if you didn't catch 20 pounds a day, you didn't make
you didn't make the cut.
Yeah, you didn't make the cut. I mean,
no. So it's not just not only does it have big ones, it has a bunch of just really good ones, and it's not ugly. It is one of the most beautiful areas on the planet. Has more fish than they know what to do with, and so it's worthy. Access is fantastic, so it checks all the boxes to be named the best lake in 2024.
Tell our listeners, James, how do you guys go about putting together this top 100 bass fishing destinations? And because it starts at the grassroots. I know I get a survey every year on it, but tell our listeners how you guys come about.
Good question.
Well, yeah, honestly, I have a love-hate relationship with with this project. Yeah. Because I don't like to work. I mean, I'm like Ron. I don't like to do anything.
Yeah.
So, but this thing takes us about 3 months in all to put together.
Wow.
And we go and we survey all the state wildlife and fish agencies. We want their input on what's the healthiest lakes that they manage in every state in the United States. And then we ask our Bass Nation folks who fish a lot of these lakes. Yeah. Both the conservation director and the presidents, what's the access like? What are your tournament results like? And that covers thousands of lakes in the U.S. And then we start getting down to the nitty gritty and going through tournament tournament data from every tournament trail on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we look at programs, big bass programs like they have in Texas with the Shell program, or in Florida with the Florida Trophy Bass program.
Mm-hmm.
And once we start pushing all this information together, the cream just kind of rises to the top.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious the cream is in the St. Lawrence River, Thousand Islands in New York. But being an old timer like myself, it just it blows my mind where back in the days before some of these people, everybody knows where I'm coming from, that we only thought bass were caught in the South.
That's right.
And nobody said, well, I don't want to go all the way up there to New York and places like that. But now, what you produce is one of the most exciting tournaments you ever have.
Yeah, you know that. And if you look at, if we're talking about the North, you know, Lake St. Clair, we just had an event up there. It ended up number 4 on the 100 Best Bass Lakes list. And dude, and then that opened, you were in 80th place unless you had 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So and it's both largemouth and smallmouth now. So you know, there are some tremendous fisheries in the North, but the South wasn't ignored. You know, Texas, O.H. Ivy, who was number 1 last year, just barely got edged out by the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah.
That is a freak fest over there in Texas. And Orange Lake in Florida has, you know, 15-plus pound bass being caught out of it. So, yeah, with the South, look, the rednecks are still represented.
they are, of course.
You know, it is pretty amazing because the Detroit River, where lots of tournaments go out of, it takes every day you've got to catch 23 to 25 pounds of fish, even there too.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing what's happening up north.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Lake Fork slid in at number 5, and you saw Trey McKinney, way more bass than he weighed, you know, this year, so over 130 pounds.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Well, I'm just looking at these, even the divisional winners. Well, we finally snuck in Guntersville, number 5, in the Southeastern Division, because Orange Lake, Lake Murray, Jordan Lake, and all of those, Santee Cooper, and I see these lakes that are well known for so many different things. But what you do is just like I told them when I used to have to pick all Memphis football players. I made 22 people happy and 4,000 mad. So I mean, because this is a topic of conversation. This is as you said, a win-hate for you guys. But I think it's got to be one of your most popular things that you do.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, when we announce, and honestly, it's almost the opposite. Because we get yelled at when one of these lakes makes the list, because the locals, these communities get inundated.
They don't want you
right.
Yeah, they like, oh, they're in my fishing hole, man.
The locals do not like it.
Yeah. Is there one lake in this top 10 that maybe surprised you the most, James, when I'm looking at it?
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good question. I would say. You know, probably the one that everybody's like, what in the world is that lake? Is Bussy Break Reservoir in Louisiana.
Yeah, I got my finger on it right now.
Well,
yeah. And so
Bill probably knows that. Is anybody?
Oh, yeah. It's made the list in the past, but it's quite small. But I mean, it had a almost 16-pound largemouth caught out of it in the past 12 months, and a lot of really big ones. And the folks in the state of Louisiana said, if you want to go to any lake in Louisiana, if you want to go catch your personal best, you better go to Bussy Break. It's small, but it's fertile and it's very good.
Yeah, that's very, very true. I mean, it probably has per acre more double-digit bass in it than any other lake in the U.S.
Yeah.
I have been on it once. I intend to go back to get some more double-digit bass.
Well, I know one of the old standbys that even in my day, Lake Fork. I got so many members of Lake Fork growing up, and you think it's gone, and it comes back, and it's gone, and yet there it is, number 5, number 2 in the Central Division. So you can't rule out some of these bodies of water that have been there for years. You know it.
No, that's right. And so what is interesting to see, and one thing that we've learned out of doing this for 12 years now, is that there are states that love bass fishing and bass fishermen.
Yes. Yeah.
And there are states that couldn't give two.
No, they don't care. No.
No. Right. But Texas is one that cares greatly. They put a lot of money and a lot of effort into improving their fisheries, and it matters. You know, Lake Fork is kind of the testing grounds.
It is
for the states, all their new techniques and technologies, fish stock.
State does a wonderful job. Well, James, we appreciate you, buddy, being with us again as we do every year.
I got to get one thing in on James real quick.
Do it.
This top 100, James. I actually used the top 100 lakes in a reference and a memorandum on a grant report last week.
Wow!
I'm so proud of you, Cooksey. I can't see straight.
All right.
Well, were you writing that grant report for Brasher? I mean,
that was to pay for their dinner at ICAST.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. Well, James, thank you, buddy. Tell everybody hello for us, and we'll talk again. But once again, folks, that's the 100 top bass fishing destinations in the United States, and they can go find that where, James?
You can find it on Bassmaster.com or pick up a copy of Bassmaster magazine.
That's it. Let's do it. Thank you, James. Have a great weekend,
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you. All right, James Hall. Let me tell you about next week's show real quickly here, folks. It's gonna be first Saturday, which means Dave Garrett, Gene Smith will be in the studio. Already got a couple of guests. They got a big thing coming up on the Catfish Derby this year over in Savannah. And we're going to talk a lot about that, the Darryl Worley thing, the Catfish Derby, the big festival they got going on over there, and a lot of other things. But that'll be on next week's show. And get ready because the second Saturday in August, we will be talking about the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame. And I'm going ahead and tell you right now, we have got a star-studded field for that show.
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you a tease. How about Bill Jordan and his son Tyler? Okay.
Yeah. Realtree.
How about Will Primos? Primos Hunting. How about Bobby Hart, award-winning long-range marksman? We're going to have him on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that's on August the 10th. But and Ron will be in the studio with me on that. All right. Anybody else got anything else to say before we get out of here?
We're all good.
We're all good.
Bill, take care and be safe on the road, my friend.
Yeah, buddy. Tell everybody hello, guys. And if you need my uncle, just let me know. Okay?
All right. Hopefully I won't need him.
All right. Doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else, guys?
God bless the USA.